Hi there, my writing friends. So you've done it. You've finished your book. And before we go any further, I want you to just sit with that for a moment, because finishing a story, whether it's your first one or your 50th, is no small thing. It takes time, persistence, imagination, and quite a lot of stubbornness, if we're being honest, to get that story finished. There are so many people who want to write a book and who never quite get there. But you did. So genuinely, from me to you, well done, hun. That was incredible. Now, of course, the next question is the one that tends to pop up almost immediately. Okay, now what? The temptation, especially when you're excited, is to jump straight into editing, publishing, covers, all of it at once, especially if you've already decided to self-publish. For those of you who are still on the fence and not sure if you want to go trad pub or self-publishing, you've probably got a bit of time. But this is more geared towards those who have decided to self-publish. The first thing I'm going to suggest might sound a little counterintuitive. I want you to now step away from your story. Yes, really. Close the document. Make sure it's saved somewhere safe, and give yourself a bit of distance from it. It can be a couple of days. It might be a couple of weeks. For some people, it might even be longer, but don't let it go too long, okay? For me personally, it's usually 2 or 3 days, no more than a week. But that distance is a necessary part of this process. So I'd like you to hear me out. I know it can feel strange in a way, especially when you've been living with that particular story for so long. But the reason this matters is because right now you are far too close to it. You know what every sentence is supposed to say. You know the story so well that your brain fills in gaps in the story without you even realizing it as you reread it. And that makes it incredibly difficult for you to see what is actually on the page. When you come back to your manuscript with fresh eyes, you notice things you didn't see before, perhaps a little inconsistencies, or moments where you think the pacing drags a bit. Sentences, for example, that made perfect sense in your head, they might need a bit of clarity because your reader doesn't know about the millions of hours you spent with world building or character development. They only read the words you've left on the page. So that distance can make all the difference. And besides, while you're taking that break, it's an awesome time to do something kind for yourself. Finishing a book is genuinely worth celebrating. Take yourself out for a coffee or a nice lunch. Buy that little treat you've been thinking about. Whatever it is that makes you feel good about yourself and you consider a treat, that's what you should be doing now. Because the one thing we're very good at as writers is immediately moving the goalpost. We finish one thing and we instantly start worrying about the next. So just for a moment, allow yourself to enjoy the achievement because you've definitely earned it. Okay, so you've done that. Now, when you come back to your manuscript, the next stage is editing. And I know that word can feel so intimidating. People hear editing and they immediately think of expensive services or complicated processes, but it genuinely doesn't have to be that way. Do you need edits? Yes, but there are actually several ways you can approach editing that are either low cost or completely free. The first and most obvious option is to ask someone that you trust to read your work. This could be a friend, a family member, another author. But if you know someone who enjoys reading your genre, then that's the sort of person that you want to ask. You're not asking them to be a professional editor. You are simply asking them for their honest impressions. Did the story make sense? Were there parts where they felt confused or lost? And perhaps more importantly, did they enjoy it? Sometimes that outside perspective is incredibly valuable because they're seeing your story the way a reader would. Another option that you can do once you've done that is to do a full self-edit. And this is something that every writer benefits from learning, regardless of whether they use editors later on or not. But when you go through your manuscript yourself, you really want to take it slowly. I found it really helpful to read my story out loud, or a text-to-speech system can do that for you. By hearing the story, rather than reading the words on the page, it's actually a great way of catching any awkward phrasing or repeated words a lot more easily. For example, I know that Word, which is what I use to write, is really good at picking up grammar mistakes and misspellings and things like that. But Word can't pick it up if you've used a word like form, for example, instead of from. But when you hear that in a sentence, you immediately recognize that it's wrong, because sometimes even your eyes can gloss over that. So definitely that using, having it heard rather than read is another good way of being able to edit the work yourself. When you're listening to your story, think about, are your sentences clear? Are the characters consistent? And does every scene you've written move the story forward? And don't feel like you have to fix everything in one pass. Editing's quite often done in layers. You might do one pass for big picture issues, plot, pacing, structure, and then do another one for little things like sentence flow and grammar. The third option for the editing side of things is perhaps to ask another author in your genre for editor recommendations. This is something that a lot of new writers don't think to do, but it can be incredibly helpful. Other editors have already been through this process, and you better believe me, they will be looking for the most value for their dollars. They've worked with these editors, or they've found resources that are affordable and effective. So if you're part of any writing groups or even just following authors online, and we already know we're supposed to be doing that because that helps with our marketing, don't be afraid to ask. Not all writers will respond, but writers are far more willing to share advice than you might expect, and you won't know unless you try. Once you feel comfortable with your manuscript, you remember, you're not aiming for perfection, because honestly, nothing ever feels completely perfect. But when you're ready, then you can start thinking about the next stage, which is presentation. And the most obvious start from there is covers. We all know, even if we don't like to admit it, people absolutely judge books by their covers. Your cover is the very first impression a reader's going to get. It tells them what kind of story they're about to step into. And that is really important. But again, this doesn't mean you need to spend a fortune. If you have design skills yourself, you can absolutely create your own covers. I create all my own covers in Photoshop, although I saw a video the other day about somebody making covers in Procreate. So I might try that too, because I'm quite a fan of Procreate for my art. Now, the thing is my covers are not award-winning or amazing, but they have become part of my brand, my preference for white text, the way I lay out my covers. They still fit within my genre, but they're also uniquely mine. Now, I do have an old video. If I can find it, I will link it on how I make my covers. But as I have changed my process quite a bit since then, I might remake that video showing what effects I can do now just using basic Photoshops or a free alternative. If you want to see that, then let me know in the comments, and I'm quite happy to do that again. But if design is absolutely not your thing, if you just think, no, I can't even draw a stick figure, then look at platforms like Fiverr, where you can find designers offering affordable cover options. Before you approach a designer, however, I would suggest that you check out the top 100 books in your genre on Amazon and see what common elements the covers have. Then use that list as a basis to approach somebody on Fiverr with what you're looking for. Even if you have somebody create a few concept ideas, that can help you figure out what fits your story best. The key thing is to aim for a cover that matches your genre. If you're writing romance, readers expect a certain look. If it's fantasy, mystery, or paranormal, every genre has its own visual language, and getting that right definitely helps your book find the right audience. Now, the next step is the blurb. And I know this is something that many authors find surprisingly difficult. I mean, you've just written this entire book, and now you've got to summarize it in just a few paragraphs. And that can feel really daunting. But there is a simple structure you can use that makes this easier. Think of your blurb as just 3 short paragraphs. The first paragraph introduces your main character. Who are they? What do they want? And what's their situation? Now, if you're writing romance, the second paragraph can introduce your second main character. Or if you're not, then you can write more about the conflict. The final paragraph hints at what's at stake. What's the tension? What can go wrong? You're not telling the whole story. You are creating curiosity. And the most important thing to remember is that a blurb does not need to be long. In fact, I get told my blurbs are too long at 350 words. I am forever being told they should be under 250. And shorter is definitely better because they say a lot of people have got a short attention span these days. You want to give readers just enough to make them think, oh, that sounds like something I'd like to read. And then they'll click the buy link. Another area where new authors in particular seem to worry about unnecessarily is book formatting. Because, yeah, it's actually a lot easier than it used to be. Platforms like Draft2Digital, for example, can handle the formatting for you. Now, I have heard news, and I did get an email from Draft2Digital saying that they are starting to introduce fees for their account. That's not the topic of this video, but if you already have a Draft2Digital account, then definitely you can still continue to go ahead and upload your manuscript, and it will convert it into the formats needed for different retailers. Now, again, I have shown that in a previous older video. I think that's a couple of years old. And if I can think it, well, no, I know it's there. But if I can find it, I will link it. That's what I meant to say. If you're publishing directly through Amazon Kindle Direct, obviously, you can upload your Word document, your docx file, and Amazon will just format the ebook for you. Is it perfect every time? No. If you've left word thingies, oh God, I can't remember what the word is I'm thinking of, but they're like hidden symbols and something in Word document. It happens sometimes when you do a docx file, and it can make Amazon format the book in weird ways. But you get the option to preview the book before you hit publish. So you're not going to end up publishing a story with a whole stack of line breaks that the book did not need. But overall, the technical side of publishing has become very accessible. You don't need to be a formatting expert to get your story out there. Which probably brings us to the final point. How long does all this take? And that's entirely up to you. All of this, editing, covers, blurbs, formatting, can take as long or as short a time as you feel comfortable with. There is no one correct timeline. I put out a book a month. So yes, I do have to work quickly. I have a system. I move through it. And that's what I'm used to. When I finish my book, I send it off to, and I do give it a couple of days grace. Then I go through and read it all from start to finish again, make any final tweaks. And then, because I don't have the luxury of being able to obsess over it, I send my book to my 2 editors. I have 2 editors. And then while the book is at the editors, I'm doing the cover, the blurb, sorting out keywords, organizing the promotional graphics, things like that. I have a system for every single book, and it's what I'm used to. But I'm not telling you that you have to do this too. The important thing is that you go through these steps in your own time, and you'll just get them done when you do. But before you rush ahead into all of that, I want to come back to where we started. You finished a book. And that is really freaking amazing. So often we treat finishing our book as just another step in the process, especially if we've been doing this for a while, rather than actually recognizing the achievement or that it actually is. So if you take nothing else from this video, please take this. Acknowledge what you've done. And if you can, celebrate it in some way. Because writing a book is not easy, but you did it anyway. And then you can start working through the list I've just given you. So there you go, my friends. What do you think? What have I missed? Are you close to finishing your book, or do you have a finished draft on your device with no idea of what comes next? If that's you, then I truly hope this helps. And please let me know in the comments below. Are there any other questions you've got about any of these processes? Do you want to see other videos about any of these processes? Again, let me know that in the comments below. Remember, I answer every single one. But that's me for today. I put out long form content on Mondays and Thursdays. If you ever want to hear me reading my own work, I do half-hour videos that I'm doing on Saturdays. I'm currently reading Scar Bonds, the scars that bind us. I absolutely love reading your comments and answer everyone. I've actually said that already. So if you agree with me, disagree with me, have a question, or just want to say hi, I truly appreciate it. And YouTube definitely appreciates the interaction, which just helps my little channel grow. So thank you for that. I love to feel like we're building our own little small writing community here. So any interaction is truly appreciated. Please hit the like button if you thought this was helpful. And if you're keen on seeing more like this, then please hit the subscribe button as well. And don't forget to tick the bell for all notifications. In the meantime, until next time, keep writing, my friends. And please remember, writing is supposed to be fun. Have an awesome day.